Hi, everybody, and welcome. Well, listening to Jamie sing, especially Joni Mitchell, was so touching. And it reminded me of when I was young, Jamie. I don't know if I ever told you this. So my dad, Papa Ken, everybody loved Papa. He was so cute. Anyway, he was my first teacher, really. He was so, advanced. And he brought a lot of wisdom teachings into my life. And I remember him telling me, about clouds. He kept saying, life is such an illusion. Everything here is such an illusion. But he only gave little bits, which would send me on this path of trying to figure it out. And so he used to tell me, why don't you go and lay in the backyard and look up at the sky at the clouds? Just in the words of Joni Mitchell. I really don't know clouds at all. And he would say, use the power of your mind and make the clouds disappear because they are illusions. Isn't that cute? I mean, how profound. Being 14 or 12 and being told by your dad to go and do that. Yeah, hi, Susan. Hey, by the way, I put a shawl of mine, an old one with Wally, on his pillow downstairs, and he just snuggled up with that thing and was a good boy. So thanks for that. Yeah. Hi, Charles. Yeah. So isn't that interesting? Life is such an illusion. And, but we play the game, and and we can be those happy dreamers in the dream. But I just want to share with you that because we're in this dream and we're all waking up as dreamers of the dream, I'm being called to go back to Egypt sooner than later. So listen, guys, if you are interested in going to Egypt with ATL, send Jamie an email. So we've written to our guide, and everything is in the works. So I don't know the dates. It'll be this year. I'm not sure what month, but we just want to get a count of who would be interested. And so let us know. So I'm pretty excited about that. I know it's just this very strong yes calling to get back to the land of Chem and, learn the deeper mysteries. There's a lot, guys, a lot I want to share with you. It's time. I know. Anyway, so let's get to the lesson. So we're on a review lesson 114, which covers lesson 97. I am spirit. Wow. This brother of ours, Yeshua, Jesus, he just doesn't, he just cuts right through the chafe, and he just says, I am spirit, bottom line. And our beautiful Sai Baba said, you are God. Snap out of it. You're delusional to think that you're a body limited, right? So I am spirit. And as that, I am here to reflect the Word of God. So my question is, well, what is the Word of God? What is the Word of God? Anyway, so that leads me to the Bible. I know there's some really juicy bits in that Bible of ours. And it takes me to the book of John, where we read, in the beginning was the Word. Well, God is energy. There's not a man that's speaking. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. So what is the Word? Ready? Take a deep breath in and raise your vibratory frequency to the level of God consciousness. The spoken word, the Word is a high vibrational frequency. That's the Word of God. Isn't that amazing? So John says, the same was in the beginning with God, this high vibration. All things were made by Him. And without Him was not anything made that was made. So if you are magicking things in the world of illusion that are impermanent, They were not made by this high vibrational frequency, because anything made with a high vibrational frequency, the love, is sustainable. Otherwise, it isn't. Only love is real. And we're told that in the Course in Miracles over and over and over again. You know, the Course in Miracles is about 7 layers deep in its teaching. There's so much more to it. It's deep. And so is the Bible. And so is the Bhagavad Gita. And so are the Vedas and the Upanishads and the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. All of these teachings are ancient. And they give us a lot of information for today, this time. Yeah. Anyway, then it says, in him was life. And the life was the light of men. You are light. You are light. The Christ consciousness, that was made by God. Light. You are light. Under the order of Melchizedek, before time was, the Christ existed. Wow. But, you know, we're not saying I am the light of the world. I am God, everything, love. We're not saying that. We're focused and speaking on truth and making it come true for us, attracting it to us. And then John says, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not. Because people that are asleep in the dark, just look what's going on in the world today. There's a mass hallucination going on. People are asleep and in the dark, and you're coming out of that sleep, and you're waking up as light. But the light shines. We shine in that darkness, but the darkness comprehends it not. A lot of people don't get it. They're still sleeping, but that light still shines in you, and it's in them. It's just covered by a veil. It's covered. It's filled with the barriers or the blocks to the presence of love, that light. And so we have to, you know, as we're waking up to truth, we have to continuously dig deep, and pull up that darkness and give it to the light so that you can reveal the Christ. I want to reveal the Christ. Baba said, you are God, you are God. You are no different from God. Remember that beautiful bhajan that we sing? I am the infinite divine. Wow. If only we could just hold on to that. And every time something comes up that is not light, that's not of a high vibrational frequency, turn it over. Give it up. It's not real. It's not real. Hi, Kathy. Received. Yes. Received. So, as spirit, we have the right to declare dominion over the kingdom. I can declare complete and total dominion over the kingdom. That's how powerful we are. So powerful. And these times are tumultuous times because the reptiles are trying to keep us, they're trying to dim our light, guys. That's what's going on. They're trying to dim our light. But we have to declare, I am God, I am God, I am no different from God. And they've duped us. I mean, you know, the religions of the world have told us that to declare anything but, you know, bowing to a hierarchy of power, starting with maybe, you know, the head honcho over there in Rome. I mean, right? We're all bowing. But have you bowed to the power within you? That's who the Christ is. You know, Jesus is a man who did the same thing as you are trying to do, as I'm trying to do. Jesus mastered it. The wisdom teachings of the ancients, Jesus handled it, and he transcended this lower nature. So he's a good example to follow, but he's saying, hey, I don't need you to bow at my feet. I'm your brother. I'm your brother, and I get it. I know how difficult it is. Don't let anybody dim your light, no matter what. Be willing to die, because you can't kill love. You can't kill an eternal self. You can't knock that off. So be willing to stand in that truth and be that light, and don't let anybody or anything dim your light. We keep saying, I am God. I mean, this religiosities of the world said it's blasphemous to say I am God. And then we all believed it. And the opposite is true. It's awful to say I am not God. It's the opposite. Everything in this world, like in the words of Joni Mitchell, I've looked at life from both sides now. Have you really looked at life from both sides? Over here is the light, and over here is the dark. And have you learned through contrast that I'd rather have the light? I mean, it's been so horrendous over here in the dark. And of course, everything serves and we learn. But as we learn and grow, hopefully we make a conscious choice for the light. And anything that's not matching that vibration of the spoken word of God, the living juiciness of everything that God is, if it doesn't match that, don't entertain it. Don't entertain it, because the minute we do, what happens? It pulls, our vibrational frequency goes back down to, very low, very dense, right? And your spin is so slow that you become vulnerable to disease, and vulnerable to attack, and vulnerable to all the illusions of this world. So this is really huge. So today's lesson is so wonderful because it's saying, make the declaration, I am spirit. That's like a full stop. And as that, I have the right to declare complete dominion over the kingdom. I am spirit. I am all powerful. Everything that you seem to have made in this world, right? It's all an illusion, but you made it by how you think. But you can declare dominion over it and choose again. And choose something else that is going to lift you out of the mud. Like that, I like the symbol of the lotus in the mud coming up for the light. So our brother, who's already handled this, says to say to yourself, I am the Son of God. I am the Son of God. The spoken word. In other words, I am a high vibrational frequency that matches the frequency of God. That's who I am in truth. I am a high vibrational frequency of God. That's what you could put there in place of the word son. It says, I am the Son of God. We're saying I am the high vibrational frequency of God. No body, this body cannot contain that, because it's expansive, it's eternal, it's everywhere, it's everything. How can you put everything into a container? Nobody can contain my spirit, nor impose on me a limitation God created not. God created not. This is coming from our brother Jesus, who already handled this. Then he says in the review lesson of 98, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. So will you accept that you actually are a high vibrational frequency of God? And once you accept that you really are a high vibrational frequency as the Son of God, you're saved. That's God's plan for salvation, that you go there, up here, and stay in this high vibrational frequency. And every time a low vibrational thought comes up, you know, no way, I forgive it, give it up, give it forth, let it go, release it. It's not true. Then our brother says, what can my function be but to accept the word of God? So let's say it another way. What can my function be but to accept the high vibrational frequency of God? I am that I am. Who has created me for what I am and will forever be. I will always be the Son of God. I will always be this high vibrating frequency. In truth, that's who I am. The Christ in me before time was. The Christ, the Melchizedeks, the highest levels. The Son of God, the one beloved Son, the one beloved high vibrational frequency that encompasses all people, all sparks of light, all 7 point what? Almost 8 billion sparks of light, all high vibrational frequencies who fell from grace, meaning you decided that you're not that, and you started vibrating in a low frequency, and then you magicked your life. Hi, Mom, how do I not entertain those negative thoughts when it comes up? Thank you, Youngter, for adding on. It's so easy to fall back to the old program in me. Thank you. Yes, we have been programmed and conditioned for lifetimes. So it's going to require effort on our part. It's not that those thoughts will stop coming in. What changes is your awareness. And as you become aware of low vibrational thoughts, you witness them. You don't make them wrong or bad because they're not real. You just witness them. And it's like, next, next. But what happens is when these thoughts come up, we, because of the programming, we latch on to a thought. And then that thought becomes 2, 3, 10, and we find ourselves vibrating in a low frequency again because we're making what we think real. Thoughts are not real. The only thoughts that are real are the thoughts you think with God. Loving thoughts. High vibrational thoughts are real. Any other thought like, oh my God, I'm going to be broke. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get sick. Oh my gosh, the reptiles have control over my life. Oh my God. The minute you start entertaining those thoughts, you're making them real. And what happens through the law of magnetic attraction, right? Like the law of vibration, you will magnetically attract the thoughts that you're thinking of to you, making them more real, seemingly real. They seem real, they're not real, but because you're focused on them, they become your seeming reality. So we use our brother Buddha, Siddhartha, he taught us so much. He said to become the witness, to watch the mind, and to observe the thoughts. Don't entertain the thoughts. Just bear witness to that thought. Let it come up and say, well, is this a real thought? Does this create? Is this a thought that God would think? Is this a thought that a Melchizedek, a high-level being would think? No, then it needs to go. I'm not going to entertain it because the ego is rampant now. It is rampant. It's doing everything it can to distract you from the God light that's in us, the God gene that's in our DNA. And the powers that be, and so they think, because there's only one power, which is God. That power that is everything is God power. And we have that gene in our DNA, but the reptiles are trying to dim that So it's almost like an injection. We get an injection of fear, and they try everything they can, health, using food, GMOs, everything, our pharmaceuticals, everything. They're using everything to dim our light. So when a thought comes up, Yongter, it's okay, let it come up. It needs to be released. It's like the ibis bird. You've been to Egypt with me, so the ibis bird with a long beak, which is Thoth. That's symbolic of digging deep into the mud, going into the darkness. Let that darkness come up. Let that dark thought come up into the light and give it over. Release it. That's what we do. Just don't latch onto it and make it real. So I love your question. Thank you so much for adding on. It just brings so much to the table. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so God has created me for what I am. I am, in truth, a high vibrational being of love light in the one Christ light, and will be forever. Nothing will change that. Nothing has changed that. The only thing that makes it real to me is the fact that I believe I am not that. And if I begin to focus and believe that I am not what God made, then I'm in a reality that is based on scarcity, lack, sickness, and death. So these lessons are powerful because the master, and Jesus said, I don't want to be a master. You're a master. He's our brother. And he's telling us with these words, right? He's reminding us of who we are as spirit with these two lessons. And the remembrance of who we are as spirit comes through forgiveness. Forgive those thoughts. They're meaningless thoughts. Do not make them something. They're nothing thoughts. Forgive means give forth. Forgive means release. Forgive means let go of trying to make the unreal real. So once we give up and we say, okay, this is an unreal thought, I'm going to give it forth. I'm going to give it to the light. I reveal the Christ. I reveal that, and what happens is I feel happy, I feel joyous. Have you ever had an experience of being really hurt or upset by someone, or you're the perpetrator, and you're mulling it over in your mind that, really I should forgive, I need to forgive this person, and it would really be good for me to apologize to them in a practical, on earth. And the spirit is nudging you to apologize or whatever. And you resist it. You resist it because you're welcome. We resist apologizing. We resist it because we want to win. We want to be right about what we say or think about another person. And it's just a human condition. It's human nature not to want to say I was wrong. That people don't want to say I was wrong. That's because the ego has us believing that if I give up and apologize to you, then who am I going to be? I'm going to be a nothing. So in order for me to maintain my separated self, my I consciousness, I need to do whatever it takes, and that does not involve apologizing because I'm separate from you. That's what the ego would have us believe. But have you ever noticed that when you prayed and you asked for the courage to make amends or whatever you needed to do, how did you feel after? You felt your spirit was set free. You felt happy and joyous, and you joined with your brother or your sister, the one that you made amends with in this oneness. And then the ego's really tricky, because then it's like, you idiot. You should have done that years ago. It disguises itself and it shape shifts. It's a shapeshifter, and it would have you believe the opposite. And even after you do the work and you apologize and you do whatever you need to do, then it will come up with another angle to get you to not be what God says you are, which is spirit. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Spirit is a very high vibrational frequency. That's who I am. That's who you are. And we need to own that. So Jesus said, the words of these lessons, I am spirit, lesson 97 and lesson 98, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. He said, it's not enough to just say these words and say, well, I'm a course student. I've read all the lessons. I've gone through the book. He reminds us, it's your willingness to practice these principles. Am I willing? Am I willing? And it just requires a little willingness to, when that resistance comes in, to having to do what we know in our soul is the highest thing. So we need that willingness. And the willingness and the desire, dear God, increase in me the desire for you. The desire to think about these lessons as we go through the book throughout our day. To think about, wow, even when you lay down tonight for our Western friends and you go to sleep and you say, I am spirit. I am spirit. I always want to, when I hear that song, I am woman, hear me roar, I want to replace that with I am spirit, hear me roar, right? I always hear that in my head when I say I am spirit, hear me roar, see me roar. I am the fire of God. I am a high vibrational frequency and I have dominion over this, everything I made. I have dominion over it. Hello? How powerful is that? So we want to be willing and have our minds changed about who we're thinking we are, who we're saying we are, who we're being. When you say I am spirit, that should make you want to sit tall. Ooh. I think of Akhenaten, right? Akhenaten, our great brother in Egypt, 9 feet tall. Wow, I am spirit. Sit tall. When you say, oh, yeah, I don't know, and you just all curl up. And a lot of people today have curled up, their backs are hunched and they're rounded. They're on their computers all day like little AIs. Transhumans, addicted to technology, trying to find it all on the computer. Oh my God, we have this amazing computer right here. Like it's all I am spirit. Download the multidimensional universal knowledge and wisdom into us just because I am spirit and I am what God made. I am a high vibrational frequency. And as that, I can access all wisdom and knowledge that has been placed within me. Sai Baba says, all wisdom and knowledge has been placed within you, but you're busy on the internet. And I remember he told me, I love Baba, Sai Ram, I love Baba. Our brother, he too says, I don't need your devotion. Are you kidding me? No way. I need your transformation. And that's what we're being told here. For you to be saved and for the salvation of the world, for God's plan of salvation for the world, we have to get with the program. I am a high vibrational frequency. And so, Baba would always remind us of that. And he would always say, I don't need your devotion. I don't need you to sit at my feet. I need you to transform your consciousness and to remember who you are, that you are spirit. In truth, you are everything. You are not different from God. You are Sat Chit Ananda. Come on. He kept trying to wake us up. Wow. And so now here we are at this time in the middle of a transition from fear to love. And we're seeing this transformation on the planet from fear to love. That's what we're seeing. So it's an amazing time to be alive. And those of you that are vibrating to the call of Egypt, like the last 2 weeks for me, it's like Mother Egypt is saying, get back here. Get back here. Because these ancient places wake us up. They start to vibrate the cells of your DNA and wake you up And yeah. Oh, by the way, this, we were going to do a women's tour only before the shutdown, the lockdown. But you know what? No, this is open to men and women. It's for anybody who feels this call to go back to the land of Kim and learn the deeper mysteries and in a bigger way. Oh, yeah. So, okay. I like to think about, because we're getting close to Easter. And by the way, next weekend we're going to have a breast session for our Easter Sunday. It will be a breast session with a little bit about the Course in Miracles teaching, but we want to experience the resurrection power of the breath. So we will do conscious connected breathing next Sunday. Okay? So I'll send out an email about that. But anyway, what I think is fascinating is that when Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount, do you remember that story? Elijah showed up on one side of him and Moses was on the other side of him. Like, these masters had the knowing and the ability to use their body to make a body to come back into time and space and present themselves to the crowds, and people saw them. So can you imagine, as you transcend fear and we raise our vibration to the highest level of Christ consciousness, we will be able to do what these great teachers have shown us. We can just get a body and show up again and do what we do. Seriously. I mean, the power, the all-powerful mind of God, right, is in you, is in me. So Elijah and Moses showed up on either side of Jesus, and they manifested a physical body just to show up. Just like Babaji, the great teacher of Kriya, who presented to Lahiri Mahashai and Paramahansa Yogananda. You could see their actual physical body in the dream. In the so-called dream. And this and more. And Jesus said, oh, I've done many things. Oh, yeah. He said, but you will do much greater things than I. If you believe. If you raise your vibrational frequency. And by the way, Jesus traveled to Egypt. I mean, he went through all the mysteries in his story. The same as what we're doing. Not that you have to go there to get it, but, if you're being called there, it's pretty awesome. So anyway, all right. So, okay, let's take a vote. So I wanted to talk about one of our chapters here, which is chapter 14. But before I do that, or I can dive right into that now, or we can choose a Mother Mary card. And this I thought of because Jamie sang Let It Be. By the Beatles, and when Mother Mary comes to me, and I thought, well, okay, well, maybe, we could pull a card. But what do you think, guys? You want to pull a card? Change it up today? Are we getting some yeses there?
Susan's nodding.
Okay.
Okay, Susan's a yes to the card.
Okay, yes to the card.
Doreen, card.
Card.
Card, please.
Card, please. And in the story, Mother Mary is the mother of Jesus. And so, Sue, hi Sue. Yeah, let's do a Mother Mary card. And again, let's give as they say, shout out to our beautiful author here, Alana Fairchild. These Mother Mary cards. They're so wonderful. I think she's such a great teacher, and she's been so guided to write these wonderful cards. She has a lot of different cards, but I have these for us today. So, okay, the Divine Mother, the Divine Shekinah Light. Oh yeah, Isis, Segment, Hathor, all different sparks of the one Mother Light. Okay. Okay, Jane. I'll have Jamie pull it.
Okay. Oh, no, that's fine.
Are they stuck?
It's stuck.
Oh, she's making a face. It's got to be good. Okay. Oh, alrighty. We have Our Lady of Manifest Miracles. We'll put a picture of that up there. What number?
11.
And it's number 11. For those of you in numerology, 11 is a master number. Okay. Our Lady of Manifest Miracles. Love seeks to manifest through you. As you. Why? Because you are the spoken word of God. You are a high vibrational frequency. So love wants to manifest. That light wants to come through you. It is not only your spirit that is to be blessed by love, but your body and your life too. You are meant to live a reality of divine love. You are meant to experience the presence of the divine in everyday life. Your spiritual life and material existence are not destined to be separate, but rather are to be united, enhancing each other, infusing each other with love in sacred relationship. My miracles are not limited to the world of spirit. They manifest in the material world as signs that divine love is alive in the here and now. Oh, the mother just wants everything to be united in love. As long as we're, in the dream, we want to be those happy dreamers in the dream and experiencing this divine love in every aspect of our life. Will you be a willing channel for my miraculous manifestations? And I love that word willing, because in our lesson 98, Jesus says we're going to need a little willingness. And so Mother Mary is asking us, will you be willing? A willing channel for my miraculous manifestations. And I say yes. I say yes. We may think of miracles as special, out of the ordinary occurrences. But Mother Mary teaches us that the miraculous is meant to happen every day. Well, bring it on, right? Bring it on. The miraculous are like miracles. Jesus tells us miracles are natural. If they're not happening in your life, where are you? Over here in darkness? Miracles are seen in light. It already does. If only we had the eye of the heart open enough to see it. We would be sent into states of rapture at how marvelous divine creation is, at how extraordinarily is the creative that unfolds in every moment of our lives, and how miraculous intervention happens through divine grace. So grace is not something we, attain. Grace, you are the embodiment of grace. Grace is you. It's here now. Amazing grace. I was lost. I was over here in darkness, but now I'm found. I'm back in grace. Subtly, and yet inevitably, grace brings this person and that person together. So when I'm vibrating in the highest frequency of grace, well, that's just so attractive. People love being around people that are surrounded with molecules of grace, which is love and peace and joy and happiness and music and dance. And they're not taking life so seriously. Are you taking your life so seriously? Frowning your way through every day? I mean, well, if you are, then the eye of your heart is not open to see miracles because you're busy frowning at life. And life is filled with miracles. Just go out your door and look at nature. Just listen to the song of a bird. How did God do that? How did the Creator do all this? Like, how is it that we can hear divine music? It's so miraculous. But we're so busy making money. We're so busy worried about the stock market. We're so busy worried about what's on Netflix next week. There's no time to enjoy the miraculous. Oh, that's just, we're constantly wanting to be stimulated by artificial stuff in this artificial world. I mean, really? And don't you feel ready to want to just join with the birds and the colors of the flowers and the sweetness of the honey from the bees and be one with everything that is and see the glory of God, the vibration of God, which is at such a high frequency? You match everything around you in this high frequency of love, and you're in an ocean of bliss, and you have twinkling stars of grace in your aura. Wow. Sounds good, right? Okay. This grace weaves the synchronicity into that, which leads to another amazing moment of creation. So, only love creates. Only love creates. Fear is magic because it's not real. Love is creative. It makes more of itself. It's so wonderful. Can you think of things in your life that was made from love? And how every time you look at it, it evokes a feeling in you? It evokes something. When you look at a mandala, a sacred mandala, a beautiful geometrical pattern that is perfect, the angles, everything is just so beautiful. It evokes something. I remember going to the Blue Mosque in Turkey. Remember that, Jane? In Istanbul. And there's nothing in the mosque except beautiful geometrical patterns. And the writing, Arabic writing, that evokes a feeling of creation and love and peace and joy. And you don't need to look at a picture of an icon of Jesus or of a master or whoever. You just sit in the frequency of these patterns around you and feel the love, feel the grace. Well, we can do that in nature. The nature is filled with mandalas, filled with geometrical patterns of divine creation. That is why we're longing, well, at least I am, to sit in nature and to breathe in this perfect chi, this creative, gorgeous energy, this mandala of perfection that was created by God. Yes, wow, beautiful, yes. And then what do? We sit behind these artificial screens, researching, digging. Oh, there's a place for that, okay? I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I mean, come on. Snooping around, like people tell me they go like snooping on people's Facebook. What a freaking waste of energy. Like, what the heck? Did you know what they say, did you know what so-and-so's doing over there? Like, what? You know why masters become masters? Because every ounce of energy, they use their energy and focus only on that which is going to add on to creation. Snooping around on someone's Facebook does not add on to creation. Just saying, right? Let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, my goodness. Masters, they have one thing in mind: transcend. Transcend. Get off this plane of sickness, death, heartache, headache, sadness, grief. Get off of that and go higher. So every bit of energy, they're not going to waste their energy. No way. No. And that's what we have to learn. And it's difficult because the pull, the addictions to this artificial world, to this matrix, is bizarre. But when you reach the highest level of God consciousness, you can bend the matrix to your will, by your will, if you so wish. We're not bending the matrix. We are bending, bowing to the gods in this matrix, in this world. Whatever that God is to you. Jesus tells us, our brother, he said, don't be bound down to graven images. Computer, cell phone. Graven images. They're just distractions to keep you, to dim your light, to keep you away from God consciousness. And that's what this world is. It's a simulation. It's a matrix. It's a trick. And it's meant to dim your light and get you to be a robot to serve its agenda. And we're greater than that. We are told today, I am spirit. I am that. Wow. Okay. Mother Mary says, endlessly the miracles of creation build upon each other in exquisite patterns of divine love simply happening. It's so wonderful. When you listen to music, do you know that you can reach enlightenment by listening to classical music? There are people who have reached enlightenment by listening to classical music because it's high vibrational frequency. And what do we say? A lot of people say, I can't stand that classical music. It drives me crazy. Because the ego is resisting what that music is doing for the soul. The ego doesn't care about your soul. Are you kidding? It doesn't, But high vibrational music, classical music, written by the masters of music, it speaks to your soul. Oh my goodness. We can be fearful of not being in control of it, of not knowing how it is going to work itself out. Or we can be in awe and trust. Are you in awe and trust of creation? Can you let your life be as it is? And keep opening the channels to the higher frequencies. There is an outpouring of amazing, multi-dimensional information coming to you at all times, but your channels are closed because you're busy in AI. But there's so much, especially now, because our planet is at that galactic center. Yes, I love classical music, Yongtru. That's why you're such an amazing architect. Oh, Ariana, yes. Ariana, you too. All of you. You're listening to classical music and it's opening the channels. This is so beautiful. I love this. Thank you for sharing that, Ariana. Yeah. And tell me your age. Can I share that with everyone? Can I share your age? Listen, Doreen and Yongtur have two beautiful daughters, Celeste and Ariana. And these girls sing, they dance, they play violin. They're just, hats off to you guys. They're homeschooled. This mom and dad, they've got their kids in high frequency stuff. Oh my goodness. And this girl, I think Ariana's 11, if I'm not mistaken. And she loves classical music and wow, this is just opening the chakras, opening to the higher realms. So beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So we want to be in awe and trust. Wow, God, you're amazing. I trust you. I trust you. Guide me. 2 weeks ago, bam, you're going back to Egypt. Okay. All right. Make it happen. Coming to 12 on April 14th. Your birthday's just in a few days. Happy birthday. I can't believe you're coming to 12 already. This is amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. I love that you're part of our family of light. Yes. Okay. So, we can be in awe and trust and choose to surrender and into the flow of the Mother's grace. The Mother's grace is the matrix that we see around us. The Mother is the creatrix. She is energy and motion, and we surrender to it. It's like the ocean. Get into the ocean and surrender to what is, with open channels to be guided. Where would you have me go? Hi, Lily from Cambodia. We love and miss you. Crazy, crazy. Yeah. So we're in that ocean of bliss, and we're allowing Spirit to tell us where to go, what to say, what to do. We are open to this divine guidance as we swim in her ocean, in this ocean. Then she says, so vast is the scale of divine intelligence unfolding in perfect plan upon the earth. There's something going on. Behind appearances, there's something else. Our mind might become overwhelmed and challenged by what is essentially unfathomable to anything other than the trusting heart that needs no explanation. Yeah. Thank you, Lily. Just keep the heart open and trust. Trust. You know, in the Course in Miracles, Jesus says, there's a lot of, different ways that Jesus says this is what we need to do and practice in order to be at peace, the obstacles to peace and all that. Faith and trust, these are biggies. Trust and surrender. Just know that everything is working together for good. Everything. And if I can't see it, it's okay. Just trust that everything is working together for good, for the highest good. And all I need to do is trust. Okay. Then she says, no matter how we choose to look at things or respond, life itself, including the miraculous manifestations of the Divine Mother, continues. So everything is continuing to be what it is and to unfold in every moment. It's going to continue. It doesn't matter how you respond. It doesn't matter how you regard it. It's still going to do its thing. This oracle, however, brings to you a special task if you are willing to accept it. This task is to become a sacred vessel. Your body is a moving temple. It is a sacred vessel, a communication device for the holiest spirit to use to see itself in everything. Sai Baba said, I separated myself from myself so I could see myself or experience myself. But I needed arms to do that. I needed eyes to see that. I needed ears to hear that. I needed a sacred vessel in order to experience myself in everything. So your body is a sacred vessel for the divine. That's our task, to become a sacred vessel through which the miracles of the Mother can be made manifest. Throughout history, there are stories of ordinary people who were asked by Mother Mary to perform some task or other. And we think of the children that were in Fatima, all the different sites around the world where Mother Mary appeared and gave messages to. These tasks were not impossible, but they were challenging because they asked each individual to put forth more faith. What a great message. Faith. in her will prevailing. The will, Mother Mary is a symbol of the Holy Spirit, the light in your right mind. And the task at hand for us is to surrender to that light, that truth will prevail, that her task will be completed on earth as it is in heaven. So to put more faith in her will prevailing than in your fear. You've got so much faith in your fear. You're afraid of getting sick. You're afraid of the government. You're afraid of the reptiles. You're afraid of the higher ups. You're afraid, like, who do you turn into if you know, the head of state shows up in your neighborhood? Who do you turn into? A slave? Kowtowing to this person? Really? Like, who do you turn into if the queen shows up? Do you feel small because the queen is there waving at you? Who do you become? When people, certain people of, you know, status, so-called status, are in your space, who do you become? That's what you want to forgive, because you've made that person special. That's a special relationship you have with the queen. She's the queen and I'm a nothing. He's the king and I'm a nothing. Right? And special relationships are based on separation. They're better than me. Or somebody shows up in your space that has a lot of money and you feel intimidated because you just have like $30 in your bank account and they have 30 million and you feel less than. Who do you become? So that tells you who your God is. Can you be spirit in the presence of whoever's in your space? Can you maintain God consciousness and see them as your brother? Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Right? And that's a really good barometer. Who do you become when or someone is super educated? They've gone to university and they have PhDs and all these letters after their name and you didn't even graduate from high school, and now you feel when they show up like you're a nothing and a nobody. Like, who do you become? And then we're so duped by the ego because none of these great masters went to school. Jesus didn't go to school. Buddha didn't go to school. Baba didn't go. Well, he went for a few years and then he threw his books away and said, hey, I got to get on with my business. I'm Satyasai Baba. I got work to do here. Right? But no, we have all these hierarchies. Oh, they're somebody because they have this and I'm nobody because I don't have that. And we say, oh, wow, they're so famous because they wrote 4 books. But you have more knowledge and wisdom than anything in their books. But because you don't have a book and they have a book, you feel small. Well, maybe you should put your stuff in a book just so you don't feel small anymore. Or maybe you should just tell yourself that it means nothing. You have to figure that out. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who do you become when they show up? Okay. So then she says, where was I here? These tasks were not impossible, but were challenging because each individual was asked to put more faith in her will prevailing than in their fears and the fears of those around them, even if they couldn't see how that could be possible. So in other words, keep turning toward the light in your right mind. That's who Mother Mary represents, the light in your right mind. Keep turning toward the light. And when a thought comes up that says you're a nobody, you're a loser, you don't have what it takes, that's not a real thought. That is an ego thought, so we give it up. These people became known as saints because they kept giving up the untruths in faith. But they began just like you and I, with no faith, with little confidence. Baba says God is confidence. Confidence is God. A confident person has a standard. Have you set standards for yourself? Or do you just let any Joe Blow in your space? Do you know what I'm saying? You have a standard. Like, I don't think enough people today set a standard. And it's like anything goes. And look at the result. You know. But if someone's acting out in your space, or they're bringing something into the room, and you're standing in the light and they are not getting it, well, then they're just going to have to fall away. Or you have the right to say, you know what, that doesn't work here. When you get it going on, you're welcome back. But right now, you got to go. And I love you. See ya. Yeah, it's called set a boundary and have a standard. It's like if more women had standards in relationships, they wouldn't marry bad boys. And the same in reverse. Do you know what I'm saying? We just put up with anything and everything, thinking we can fix him or fix it. Have a standard. What are your values? What's important to you? Are you going to just let any Joe Blow come into your life and disrupt it because you're so craving love and a relationship? Or are you going to say, no, you don't talk to me like that's not nice. And if you're going to talk to me like that, then you're not going to talk to me because I'm going to go. I'm just going to go. Wow, that's setting a standard, and that's okay. That's what it takes. Baba says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Show me what you put up with and I'll tell you where you're vibrating. A high-level being won't put up with it. A high-level being says, I love you, man, but no, not here. Not here. Gotta go. I know. Yeah, this is what it requires. And you do it with an open heart, but nope. And I think this is, a lot of kids today, they have no boundaries, they have no discipline because everybody wants to be liked by everybody. We just want to be liked. We have no standards, no boundaries, right? And it's just crazy. And now the kids are all on drugs and they're running around. Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Exactly, Lisa. And all the masters, they're all saying, do you have a set of standards that you will allow this or not? This can come in, but no. Do you have standards and do you have boundaries? Are you clear? I know when as a mother raising my kids, I was tough but loving. And I would say to them, you do that and this is what happens. And I never once didn't follow through. You can ask my kids. I would say, no, that's not going to work here. I told you no, and I meant no. And I don't care if you don't like me. I like me, okay? Well, now look, I have them all around me. They're so fabulous and wonderful, and they, But I was fair, but no, there's a standard to be set. I respect me, so you will respect me. And if you don't respect me, you need to go. And so that's how you teach respect. You demonstrate respect. All these things. Jesus says, I'm going to give you the truths and in information. I'm going to give you the information, and then I want you to demonstrate what it looks like. Okay, what's that look like? Respect? I respect me. Okay, and because I respect me, then if you're going to be in my space, then there must be respect. And if you're not respectful, you need to go and think about it. And they always came back and said, Mom, I'm sorry. I said, oh, I know, I love you. It's all good, But that's how it works. So, oh man, just give up not caring if someone doesn't like you. Because you're more interested in their soul. Yeah, Doreen. Yes, yes. If you're interested in raising the frequency of our planet to a high level, then you're going to have a standard. Because you want people to come up to a higher level. Because you're there. So you're not going to lower your standard. Someone's pouting. They're having a pout feast. Or they're being a little victim in your space. Or whatever they're doing. They get to do that. But not, you can say, nope, not here. Go pout somewhere else. Because I'm not going to entertain your pouting. That's, you're going to have to snap out of it. Because that's not high frequency. I mean, you don't say to your kids, well, that's not high frequency. What are you doing? They won't get that. But, You just kind of, they get it. They're not dumb. They have a soul. They understand. They really do. And they are craving discipline. They are craving boundaries. That's love. That is love. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. So these people became known as saints. Wow. All right. And they had a love for the Holy Mother and a desire to be open to the miraculous. To fulfill the task that the Mother will ask of you, whether you know what is right now or have no idea whatsoever as yet, you will need to have courage. Yes, yes. We have that in our Serenity Prayer. Dear God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom, the Spirit is wisdom, to know the difference, because it's the Spirit in my right mind and God that brings the wisdom for me to know the difference. So now I need courage to carry that out. I need courage to carry that out. Right? Courage will help you trust your heart as you sense her task for you. Okay, so you're going to be guided and told where to go, what to do, what to say, and to whom. And by being willing to carry out her task, okay, you will be given courage. Because as you sit in confidence, because you are spirit. I'm spirit. Look at me. I'm sitting tall. I am spirit. Hear me roar. It might be a seemingly small task that the Divine Mother will ask you to do, such as planting a garden of flowers on your front lawn, which will benefit those who pass by. It might be a large task, such as I like this one. Speaking the truth in a relationship where you might fear. Do you have any of those? Do you have a relationship that you need to have a conversation with somebody and you're not saying it because you're afraid of what they're going to say back? You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of something. And yet you hear the Spirit saying to you, open your mouth. I will come through you, but open your mouth. Whoa. You might fear it, but in doing so, you might fear that you're going to lose that relationship. Well, do you even want to have that relationship in your space if that person is that? Right? You have to let go, because not everybody is ready for a high level. What is a high level? It doesn't mean you're off planet, some high and mighty being. It means you're loving. And not everybody wants to go there. Not everybody wants to be kind. Not everybody wants to be forgiving. Not everybody wants to be generous. Not everybody wants to, share the love that God is through them. And they want to stay in the dark. And so, by the law of physics, if you're climbing up a ladder and someone's going up there after you, trying to hang on to you, eventually, if you don't let go of them, you fall down. You're going to wind up back in the mud with them. Sometimes we just have to say thank you and goodbye. That's a good song to write. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you and goodbye. I've learned a lot, but adios, muchachos. Right? Yeah, and it's all good. You just can't keep dragging people with you that don't want to go. Look at the relationships in your life where you've tried to drag people with you. They don't want to go. You've tried to get them to believe what you believe. You've tried to be super, super nice to them so they'll be super, super nice to you, and it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then years later, you're like, dang. When you wake up, you're like, whoa. Why didn't I get this years ago? But it's all good. It all served. It got you here to a place where you're more awake. So it was love too. Yeah. Right? So just look at your relationships, look at the people in your life, and just, what's going on there? What's going on there? All right. So it might be to write a book. Ooh, might be to write a book. Or to come out of that spiritual closet. You know, everybody says, well, I just don't want to say anything because they're not where I'm at. I don't want to say anything because I'm afraid, let's just be honest, cut through the chase. I'm afraid of losing that relationship. So you're going to hang on to dead weight so you can, keep your truths and your spiritual principles in a closet and only pull them out when you're in your closet by yourself? You mean you're not going to be yourself because they're there? No, you're not being yourself because you're not there yet. You're a wannabe, but you're not embodying what you say. Yeah, that's the thing. So, are you willing to be yourself? Are you willing to tell the truth? Are you willing? Because there's nothing more authentic than to be yourself, and then you can be in a relationship as yourself, and it's not stressful. All those special relationships that you got going on, they're stressful because you're trying to hide your stuff so you can just keep the love going. Well, that's not love. That's like, you pay my rent, okay? Let me just be honest here. You pay my rent, you put a roof over my head. So I'm going to put my spiritual truths in the closet and go along to get along because I don't like sleeping in a cold bed. And when you decide that you're ready to be of God consciousness, you have to stretch. Baba says, when you say yes to me, I will bake you, I will stretch you, I will mold you, I will knead you like bread. And you're not going to like it. Because when you said yes to me, what you're saying is you're willing to be the vibrational frequency of creation, the only begotten Son of God, who is limitless and eternal. Everybody else has to decide where they want to be. Yeah, we have to learn the hard way before we wake up. I know, we're so silly. I know. And then when we awaken, it's like, whoa, that's good. That was interesting, right? But it's just so, and nothing is to be made wrong. Nothing is to be made bad. It all serves the greater good. But I mean, now with this outpouring of light coming to us as our planet is moved to the galactic core, where this, multidimensional everything, love light is beaming down. We just have to open the channels, take it in, and say, I love you, brother. Go in peace. I'm climbing to the next rung on my ladder.
Actually, Mom.
Yeah.
I think this was a question.
Oh.
Why is it we seem to have
Oh.
to learn? I just
Sorry.
got that.
Thanks, Jamie. Why is it we seem to have to learn the hard way before we awaken? Well, we haven't had enough contrast yet. We seem to learn through contrast, right? Like, I've looked at life from both sides now. Once you look at that side and you go, oh, I don't know, because Jesus says in the Course in Miracles, or the Holy Spirit says, I'm never going to hurl you into being awake, because that would be cruel. Meaning, like, God's not going to take you from this level of fear and scarcity and lack and oh my God, and put you into a level of, abundance and health. And it would be like, you wouldn't believe it anyway, because you're so conditioned and programmed to believe the opposite of that. The awakening, it's a process. It's a seemingly slow process. And the Holy Spirit works with you at the level of your understanding. That is why we have 7.8 billion sparks of light that are at different vibrational frequencies of their development. And so if you are at a high vibrational frequency and and that person is not, and you're trying to pull them up, that would be cruel. They don't get it. It's not theirs to get, and it's okay. Your job is to love them. Yes, thank you, Susan. That's it. My job is to love you, if at that level, right? My job is not to pull you and hurl you into the dimension that I'm in. See, light recognizes dark. Dark can't see light. We were told that early in this lesson. Oh, hi, Simon. Yes. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. So, for our family and friends that are sleeping, That's their vibration. And they're attracting to them a perfect match to their vibrational frequency, just as you are. As you are up here in a higher dimension, in a frequency that's really bright and more awake, you then attract things to you that they don't. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It doesn't mean they're wrong. It means that that's the level they're at because they're learning, they're waking up, the Holy Spirit's working with them. And listen, they could, bam, have a spiritual awakening in a New York second. And you would think, oh my God, that took me 20 years to get that. And look, they're awake. In 2 days, they got it. My job is not me, Deanna, but our job collectively is not to coerce somebody into believing what I believe. My job is to demonstrate the principles of love. Love allows. Oh, I see that my sister is on that frequency. And so I'm going to sit with her and say, whoa, you're just amazing. Well, that's just so awesome. I love you. And you don't even say that stuff. People don't want to hear that stuff. You demonstrate what love looks at. Oh, do you want a hot dog? Even if you don't eat a hot dog, a loving, high vibrational being would eat the hot dog. Because love wins. But no, I'm a vegan. I can't eat that. Like, you shouldn't eat that either. That's lowering your vibration. And right? And that person's like, huh? What? That doesn't feel like love. That feels like you're preaching to me. Get out of my house. Or whatever, right? And so, or you might just say, well, I'll have a hot dog. Why not? And then they go, well, I thought you were a vegan. Say, well, I was and I am, but hey, that hot dog looks pretty good. Well, that could open a whole conversation. They might say to you, well, what made you become a vegan? And now you have an opportunity to speak. Why? Because the Holy Spirit is coming through you, your channels are open, and you will be told what to say. But I'm not here to preach. I'm here to love you. That's not a big deal. You see? Oh, all right. So then, to fulfill the task that the mother will ask of you, whether you know what is right now or have no idea, right? We're going to have courage, all right? And then it could be this large task, all right, such as speaking your truth and all that, or you're coming out of your spiritual closet. Or it might be to pray for someone who has hurt you and to ask for forgiveness for them. Okay, so listen, guys. When I say to somebody, I'll pray for you, I just have to tell you that's my prayer. Right there. And why is that my prayer? Because I see you as a Christ. There's nothing more to say. And I see all the people that you're worried about and concerned about as the Christ too. So when I say I'll pray for you, that's my prayer. You are the Christ, they are the Christ, and the Christ in me invokes the light of the Christ in you. That's my prayer. Done. Because why? I am spirit. Hear me roar. In numbers too big to ignore. So my prayer is, I am that I am, and so are you. And I'm not going to go into, and dear God, could you raise them up to this big healing energy power? Like, those are all fancy words and everything. But when I tell you, I'll pray for you. What I've already said is the light in me evokes the light in you. Prayer done. Yeah. Yeah. So you might be asked to pray for someone who hurt you and ask for forgiveness for them. The Christ in me invokes the light of forgiveness in you. The Christ in me invokes the light of everything in you. It might be to love yourself enough to say no to a relationship that is not right for you. That's a big deal. Tell that to a girl who's young, in love with a guy who's a bad boy, let's say. And she's so in love with him, running wild with hormones. And this relationship is not good. And it would be to her benefit to say no to them. But she can't. She doesn't want to. It's not that she can't. She doesn't want to. Because the pull of the five senses are greater than the light, than the light in her that she's aware of. She's not aware of that light, that she has everything already. You see? So even if there's love there, yeah, a lot of times we have to walk away from relationships. We have to say, I love you, it's been a slice, but I have to go. And it's all good. Yeah. It might be to move to another place where your light is needed. Oh, move to another place where your light is needed. I understand that. Even if you do not understand that at the time, it might be to support a cause that stirs your heart. Do you have a cause that stirs your heart? Is there something that stirs your heart? And you hear the Spirit speaking to you to add on, to donate, to give, to bless, to something. Or to go to a spiritual class or workshop. Or to set some boundaries between you and family members who ask too much of you. This is huge. This is huge. Can you say no to those family members that ask too much of you? Can you have a boundary, a clear boundary? I mean, this is tough because why? We are so addicted to the roles we play in our relationships that we think we have to follow the concepts of what these roles have dictated to us for lifetimes. I should, I have to, I better, if I don't, oh my God, I'm spiritual, therefore I'll give you anything and do anything for you. Because that's what spiritual people do. No, they don't. No. Even my own daughter, a number of years ago, she said, Mom, can I have some money? I said, no. She said, huh? Why? I said, I don't know. I'm just hearing no. Done. Is she going to like me? No. But that was my answer. Done. Does she like me today? Yeah, she loves me. So, sometimes you hear an answer that's going to rock an already rocky relationship. Let me just put it that way. If it's rocky and you say something that's going to rock it some more, well, it was already rocked. So sometimes, and especially now with all this stuff going on, or the not, or whatever, I mean, there's like a mass psychosis going on. And personally, I think that, I don't know, maybe these rays, these beams coming from 5G, have put out some crazy, I don't know, maybe hypnotized people into not paying attention. Who knows? There's just so much nonsense out there. So people are trying to hold their families together. Why? Why? You're making the dream world real. Of course, it's wonderful to have our families with us. Biological families, family of light, whatever. But if you have to compromise and settle or do whatever because they don't like something, that's going to be hard on you and them. It's not about the soul now. It's about getting them to like you. Yeah. So it takes a lot of releasing and trusting, and maybe the Spirit would say, yeah, you're going to stay here, but you're going to listen to me and I'll give you the guidance needed to keep you in that, that as long as you're in this relationship, I'll guide you and da-da-da. Or she may move you outside of that relationship, but you'll need courage. And then she says here, courage will also help us trust in her as we carry out her task. It is through our efforts in carrying out the task. That's what she's telling us again. But she says, it is difficult to help someone who won't help themselves. I've been there. It's like, I can't help you because you don't want help. So go in peace, because my energy is mine. My energy, I need to focus it in a streamline towards something that serves the greater good. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I don't like you. It just means that you need to do what you need to do over there, and I'm over here. Yep. Oh, yeah. So If they're not helping themselves, don't waste energy. Baba says all the time, don't waste energy. Don't waste time. Don't waste your time. We have to give to receive, and as we receive, we are empowered to give. Oh, I love that. You know, somebody does something for you, and it feels so wonderful. You just want to give something back. You just, you want to smile. You want to, thank you, I love you. This is so beautiful. And you want to pass it on and share with someone else and share the good news. Oh, my friend sent this to me. Isn't this wonderful? I want to share it with you because it's just so sweet. And you share the love and you share the goodness and you share the coffee. And it's so awesome, right? Okay. We need to have courage to start the cycle without trying to control it. We need courage to accept the help offered and to keep going. Our Lady of Manifest Miracles wants her presence felt and her plan of love carried out through each one of us in the physical world, and that includes you. You are a miracle worker. Stand in a high vibrational frequency and share the good love, share the good news. God lives in me. Jesus said, when you have seen me, you have seen the Father of creation. When you have seen me, you feel the vibrational frequency of health. When you see me, you feel the vibrational frequency of abundance. When you see me, you feel the vibrational frequency of immortality. That's why Jesus could heal the sick, because the only thing in his mind was health. A vibrational frequency that was not of this world. Wow. Isn't this inspiring? Don't you feel like sitting a little taller? It's so amazing. Okay. All right. Where was I? I always lose my place here. Okay. This oracle brings a special message that it's time to put your spiritual principles to the test. In other words, demonstrate your spiritual principles. Stand as health and watch yourself being healthy. Stand as abundance and watch yourself being abundant. Stand as goodness and watch good things come to you. Stand as truth and watch truthful things in your space happening. What are truthful things? There is no death. There is no fear. There is only good, God. God is the only power. Your high vibrational frequency is the substance of God. And you are that. I am that. It's time to rely on this completely as a way to live and move in the world. I live, I move, and I have my being in this high vibrational frequency of love light. It contains immortality. It contains perfect health. It contains abundance. It contains everything that I need in every moment. So my body is a moving vehicle as I walk through this world, living and moving and having my being in this abundance. That's what's true. Nothing else is true. Truth is true, and nothing else is true. It is not only safe to do this, it is your safety. That is where your safety lies, because that is where you are invulnerable. If you are not living, moving, and being in this high vibrational frequency of love, then you are vulnerable to attack. You are vulnerable to sickness. You are vulnerable to lack and scarcity and death. It is not only safe to do this, but the only way to really allow her miraculous love to manifest through you. Doing this will mean that all that is destined to be born through you in this lifetime can then be. You are here with a destiny to fulfill on behalf of the divine. You have a purpose. It's a purposeful destiny on behalf of the divine. And when you live and move and have your being in this high vibrational frequency, you now become this channel for that to flow through. It doesn't matter your age. I think Moses parted the Sea of Reeds at, I don't know what age he was. It was very old. So don't worry. Lots of time. Okay? Okay. You are being blessed by the Holy Mother, empowered by her, and asked to trust completely in her grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail, Holy Shekinah light, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. The light, the high vibrational frequency is with thee. Blessed art thou among people, all women, all men, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Jesus, the creatrix, the matrix, the man Jesus is the beloved Son on earth, walking as the embodiment of this high vibrational frequency. The Son of God, the beloved Son in whom God is well pleased. God was rather pleased with himself, metaphorically speaking, when he said, "Let there be light. This is my beloved, love light, in whom I am rather pleased with myself that I was able to do that." And that would be you. So here's the healing process and affirmation. Imagine red roses are blooming around your feet. I love roses, and they smell so beautiful. They release a subtle fragrance, and their petals seem soft like velvet. At the center of each red rose, a golden light shines, releasing radiant bursts of energy. I tell you what, let's close our eyes and just do this, okay? That's what I'm hearing. Let's take a few minutes, close our eyes, and do this. All right. Okay, so your eyes are closed. So now, imagine there are red roses blooming all around your feet. Can you see them? And they're releasing a subtle fragrance, and their petals seem really soft like velvet. And at the center of each red rose, there's a beautiful golden light that shines, and it is releasing radiant bursts of energy. Every burst of energy is a miracle of the Divine Mother taking place. The miracles bring solutions to impossible problems. Healing in body and relationships. A windfall, a miraculous discovery, a finding of what was thought lost, a meeting of a soulmate, or a path of light through the darkness bestowed. And her endless miracles through the red roses manifest again and again. You then become aware that you are standing in the center of a large red rose. With soft petals beneath your feet, you are bathed with golden light. You are a living miracle of the Divine Mother made manifest. And so we say this prayer to the holiest Mother, Divine Shekinah Light. Holy Mother, Our Lady of Miracles manifesting, I surrender myself to your grace, to your will, and to your divine plan of love. I ask that you happen through me. May I be a channel for your miracles of grace and healing in this world. May my life be spiritually fulfilled that I may bring more of your light to the world. Through your holy grace, so be it. And so it is. Together we say, Amen. Now we rest for a moment, for as long as it feels good, and complete this session together. We're going to complete this session together with the following affirmation. Mother Mary manifests her miracles through me as I unconditionally accept and celebrate her graceful presence in my body, mind, and soul. With love and praise and gratitude for the Divine Mother, we can now say together, Amen. Well, that was a beautiful meditation from our Alana Fairchild. Thank you to her for that. So, well, we didn't get to the chapter, so we'll do that another time. But I think today's message was so profound and so fitting in these times. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, it's so good to see your face over there on Zoom. Yeah. So if anybody has anything they'd like to add on before we close our session, go ahead. Yeah. If not, listen, everyone, thank you so much for your donations. Really, thank you, thank you. Our tiny studio is getting better and better, and we're keeping our YouTube channel going and different things going because of you, so we're forever grateful. Thank you, Lily. Beautiful message. Thank you for your light and your presence here. Wonderful. And I'm just full of gratitude. Jamie and I both are. So, and again, go inside, maybe pray, ask the Christ in you to reveal. Is it your time to go to Egypt? Yes, yes. Thank you, Lisa, because that's around the corner. If so, please write Jamie, let her know. We'll put you on the list. And I would say that probably it looks like we'd be going maybe October, November. Yeah, in the fall, I would think, something like that. And you're most welcome. Oh yes, I'll remind you right now of the Gates of Horn. Thank you. So the Gates of Horn, thank you, Yvette. I love you so much. Good to see you. Michael, you're amazing. I love you. Yes, your green heart and your green lion, so powerful. The Gates of Horn. This is an ancient Egyptian saying, the Gates of Horn. So when you go to bed tonight, ask to be given a true dream from the Gates of Horn. I want to have a true dream from the Gates of Horn. Yeah. So there's so many wonderful ancient mysteries that, to be shared. So in time, yeah, we bring them up. When will we be able to see you and everyone again? Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, Lily. Well, you know what? We will. I know that we'll be back in Cambodia. We miss beautiful Cambodia and you and Andre and the family so much. So let's see, maybe 2023? Yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm just praying that, they continue to keep traveling legal. Who knows? Traveling may not be legal. We never know. But anyway, for now, the calling is Egypt. So, this is the mother of the mysteries. And if we could, we'd go to Mesopotamia or Babylon or to, the cradle of civilization over there in Iraq. That would be awesome. And by the way, I was just talking about that the other day and found out that in front of the pavilion in Kuala Lumpur, there's a beautiful statue to a Mesopotamian god standing out front. And I was just talking about Iraq the other day. It just blew my mind. So these are all symbols coming to us from the universe that are, little wake-ups and little nudges and calls and winks. And so I'm paying attention. So anyway, all right, everyone. I love you so much. I'll be back this week for Soul Astrology. We have some great alignments happening with in Pisces with Jupiter and Neptune. And so that's going to be interesting. So we'll talk about that. And I'll just see you for Breathworks, the resurrection power of the breath. In the meantime, keep your vibrational frequency in the same frequency as God. I love you. Talk to you soon. Million hugs and kisses, everyone. Bye for now. Bye.